Can you share your reasoning for moving to Los Angeles to become a filmmaker?
I was in college in Chicago, and at the time I thought I was going to be like either an English professor or a film studies professor. That's what I was studying. And then the film club at University of Chicago, they acquired like a clunky old video camera. And I picked up that video camera and I checked it out and I went and shot my first film. And simultaneously I knew it was both terrible and that I didn't want to do anything else but make films. And so at the time, honestly, like I didn't know how to do anything separate from going to school. And I was like, if I want to be a filmmaker, I guess I'll go to school to be a filmmaker. And I applied to the UCLA film program and got in, and that's what brought me out here. And I'm not really thankful about that. I don't know that my sort of 22-year-old self would have just made the classic just leap and move to LA. And so going to film school was really my like pull to Los Angeles to show up here and start this journey.
How was that for you when you showed up? Because if you were used to Chicago winters, and I know there's a difference, East Coast mindset versus West Coast, how did you feel when you showed up here?
I would say it took me a while to adjust to Los Angeles for many reasons. It's just a very different place. But really at the time, I think the city was much less on my mind. It was more, I showed up at grad school and it was 24/7 thinking about movies. And that was just wonderful. Like that was really, it's one of the most memorable times of my entire life. And so when I think about my arrival to LA, I can't separate it from, it was the time when I fully said out loud this crazy idea, I'm going to be a filmmaker. And I dropped into UCLA and I met lifelong friends, I met my wife, and really, just sort of confirmed my like hope that this is something I wanted to do.
Do you remember what movie was popular at the time?
Oh boy, let's see, what were the big ones? You know, I don't know what was popular, but I know that I had seen a series of movies in the few years leading up to that time that had pushed me towards making films. And they're very different. One of them was Terrence Malick's The Thin Red Line. I love Terrence Malick, especially early Malick. And then The Matrix had come out relatively close to that time. And as far apart as those two movies are, they were both movies that when I sat in the theater and saw them, I was just blown away. And just moved on a like emotional level, a visual level, and I knew like, yeah, like, I want to do that.
From listening to other interviews with you, you said you grew up exposed to two very different cultures. And I was wondering, how does that shape your problem solving, whether it's on set or even in life?
I'm a mixed race American. So my dad is this Muslim immigrant from Bangladesh, and my mom is, she grew up in New England. She's a Spanish-Italian white girl. And that really meant that in my household, like one of our guiding principles was, there's always more than one way to do things. You know, we celebrated Christmas and Eid. At Thanksgiving, we had turkey and turkey biryani. But for sure, yeah, it has meant that in almost every situation when I'm making an artistic choice or a logistical choice, I think just very naturally, I think, there are different perspectives. I need to think about all the different ways to even ask the question in front of us, let alone find a solution.
Did you feel a pressure to abandon your art or creativity? I mean, was going to LA to become a filmmaker something that was embraced?
I grew up in a house that loved movies. My parents took me to see art house films, blockbuster films. We rented, everything we could get out of Blockbuster. My Bangladeshi relatives had VHS tapes that were being sent from India, Bollywood films. So no, if anything, I think my parents were maybe more excited about me being a filmmaker than I was at times. Like, I think everyone kept saying to me, like, I think you should do this. Like, you're the one who, whenever we go see a movie, we spend an hour talking about, camera choices and what the actors did. So I often joke that I think my friends and family realized I was going to be a filmmaker before I did.